What's up, everyone? I'm Jack Slater, aka the Comic Outlaw, yeah! And I hope you're ready, because we're gonna take you back. Fantastic Four. Yeah, issue 501. And yep, they're in one of their situations again. They're fighting something strange. Some kind of monster. Yep, the monster that stalks the streets. Yeah, I know, but, after so many issues, they do start to run out of names, you know what I mean? Anyways, let's get back into it. Of course, they're having a day just chilling, eating some hot dogs, Ben's eating the kosher hot dogs, of course. And everyone's just chilling, relaxing, but Crystal has a headache. She actually feels faint. And, of course, Ben's chowing down, and she mentions it might be the hot dogs, and that's where Ben gets a little worried since he's had about a dozen. But anyways, there's a big energy blast and starts taking out pieces of the building. Ben starts mollywopping everything, of course, knocking things out here and there. But he knows that it won't last for long. The building begins to fall apart. The thing, of course, grabs a little something to kind of brace it. Crystal's using her powers to seal everything up, but all of a sudden she feels faint. And, of course, Johnny panics. Johnny panics so much, and you can't really blame him. I mean, that's his lady love right there, and she just all of a sudden passed out. So he flies off with her, leaving Ben to take care of the mess. And of course, Reed is working in his lab. The man's a super genius. But there's one thing he just can't seem to figure out so far. How to cure his friend Ben. Since the Fantastic Four could turn their abilities on and off, they actually, have human lives. But Ben doesn't. And so he's been working on a cure to see if he could fix him. Well, right when he's in the middle of that, of course, Johnny busts in, saying there's something wrong with Crystal, and he does not know what's happening. He's never been so scared in his life. This hothead is actually panicking. He is going through the roof. He's at the boiling point, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, Sue's out, she's enjoying some shopping. And of course, why not spend that company coin? So she's out there chilling, having a good time, a little time for herself, With all those egos in there, you do need a little time for yourself. But of course, Energy Blast comes out of nowhere. Sue uses her force field to protect some civilians, and she's wondering what's going on. And it's just like this big ball of energy. Sue, of course, is trying to figure out whether she can contain it by herself. Her radio has been knocked out by the electrical discharge, so it's kind of like an EMP blast. She's trying to figure out what she's going to do next. And of course, there's always a scientist. He explains they made some kind of communication with some other planet. This creature was sent here, and it doesn't really know what it's doing. Of course, Sue argues the point that this creature just may be simple and very, very primitive. So they might have to stop it right then and there. They don't really know what to make of it, but it is destroying the city. Meanwhile, Reed's trying to work on a solution, trying to figure out what's wrong with Crystal. And basically, it is the pollution, the worldwide pollution, that's actually killing her. Because when they're in the fortress, when they're in their castle, they are actually protected by all the environmental stuff. So yeah, it is the environment that's literally killing her. And of course, this is where he says that he might have found a cure for Ben using her cells, her elemental powers. And of course, Ben gets happy about this, but he will lose his powers, more than likely. Of course, Johnny's pissed off because she has to go back to her home. Well, she is Black Bolt's cousin after all. She has royal duties. Anyways, Johnny's just heartbroken about this. And Thing's just kind of heartbroken as well, but he is excited that he might be able to turn back human. And this is really sad because I actually really like Crystal as a Fantastic Four member. Of course, she gives Reed a kiss, asks if she can keep the uniform. Of course she can. And of course, Ben, they actually had a good bond. They actually acted like brother and sister. They're that kind of bond, And of course, the Inhuman dog pops out of nowhere. Poof, poof. Indeed. And of course, this dog has teleportation, and he actually sort of talks. That's why him and Ben are kind of having a little conversation there. So, of course, she teleports away. Johnny tries to follow him, but Reed grabs onto him. He flames on for a bit. It almost burns his arm. Of course, Johnny flames off, and then he turns back on just to get some time away. He needs some time to think. Of course, this hothead does need to cool off. And Ben and Reed have other prospects. Of course, turning Ben back into a human. As Johnny's flying around, his powers begin to sputter out. They begin to siphon off. And he's wondering what exactly is going on. This doesn't really happen to him. It must be some kind of alien entity. Anyways, his power turns back on temporarily. It attacks this creature, but then again, it siphons everything off. Like, it soaks it up like a sponge, literally. And Johnny falls to the ground without any powers. Sue is using everything, all of her might, to keep these people safe. And the scientist that keeps telling you to save the creature. She manages to catch her brother and put him in the force field. But this creature is leveling everything. I mean, it's just having its way with this town. And Sue's trying her best to use her power since it seems that her powers are not affected like Johnny's. But yeah, this creature's still attacking. She's using all her might to contain it. That's why she sends Johnny to go fly off. Since this creature's power is contained, it's not siphoning off his abilities. So Johnny doesn't want to leave his sister behind, but at the same time, he has to. So, one more time, Johnny flames on. And as his surgery starts, as this miracle of science to cure Ben Grimm gets started, Johnny shows up, and he explains the situation to Reed. And this is a bad decision for Reed, because this machine started, and once it gets rolling, it's not going to stop. So Reed has a choice to make. Who does he sacrifice? Does he sacrifice Ben? Maybe his chance at humanity? Maybe worse? Or does he sacrifice his own life? Decisions. What will Reed, one of the smartest men in the world, do? Well, as always, we'll find out the next time, won't we? And I'll catch you on the flip side. Yeah.